Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So David Benavidez, believe it or not, becomes a unified interim light heavyweight champion. He beats David Morrell by a unanimous decision to win the WBC interim and the WBA regular, which is basically an interim title as far as I'm concerned. Not sure why these bullshit ass trinkets were on the line. We know Benavidez basically, or the winner of this fight, was basically first in line to the winner of, Beterbiev, Bivol 2. No need for these bullshit trinket belts, but it is what it is, I guess. Who knows, maybe the PBC will avoid the winner of Bivol, Beterbiev 2, and use that regular title to try and make out that Benavidez is a champion, similar to what we've seen with Tank Davis over the years. But being negative aside, Benavidez won this fight clearly, in my opinion. Early on in this fight, I have to say, it was shaping up to be a really, really fun fight. First 4 rounds were really enjoyable. Both guys boxing out of their guards. Both guys are nice and tight with their defense early on. The southpaw in Morrell versus the orthodox in Benavidez. First couple of rounds, both guys were kind of standing in front of each other, firing 1-2s. Benavidez would fire 1-2-3s, hooks to the body. And pretty much off the bat, he was also establishing his uppercuts, both with the right hand and the left hand. Early on, there was a fair few exchanges where both guys got some good work off. I felt Benavidez was more busy in round 1, gave him round 1. I felt Morrell was slightly more busy in round 2. I gave Morrell round 2. Both of those rounds were kind of tit for tat. Benavidez would lead, then Morrell would lead. Third round, I felt that Benavidez's work rate was just a cut above Morrell's. Morrell was trying to punch with Benavidez, but for some reason, for me at least, he wasn't using his right hook anywhere near enough because Benavidez was so open for that shot, especially when Benavidez would throw that lead left uppercut. The shot was there for Morrell throughout this fight, and he threw it nowhere near enough. He was trying to rely on his straight left, but it looked like every time Morrell caught Benavidez with that right hook, he could get something going, but he really didn't do it anywhere near enough, and I'd have to ask why. Round 4, and again I go back to the right hook. This was the best round of the fight, in my opinion, or one of the best rounds in the fight. Great exchanges from both men. Both guys were fighting at mid-range. I felt that Benavidez was outworking Morrell in those moments, but Morrell would land some hard shots in these exchanges, to the point to where, Benavidez felt these shots. You could see in his eyes. You could see sometimes he'd take like a half step back, give himself a couple of seconds, then he would resume his attack. And towards the end of round 4, Benavidez thought he may have had Morrell going, and he kind of bum-rushed Morrell. Morrell was kind of in the corner, and Morrell uncorked a right hook, which we was talking about, catches Benavidez bang on the chin, and Benavidez looked hurt to me. His legs looked a little stiff, but to Benavidez's credit, he did fire back, and he got through it. But for me, again, it goes to show why didn't Morrell keep on throwing that right hook? If I was Ronnie Shields, that's what I'd be telling him. The shot was there all night, but I don't think I heard Ronnie Shields say those words once. Right hook. I don't think I heard him say that once. First 4 rounds, though, very competitive. I felt both guys did some good work. After 4, I had it 2 rounds apiece. But after 4 rounds, Benavidez really started to take control. And it was basically the usual Benavidez sort of performance where he's just so much more busy than his opponents. Morrell was, pouring the jab and throwing a straight left here and there, some body shots here and there, but most of Morrell's work throughout rounds 5 to 11 were one at a time. Morrell opted to hold his feet in this fight, which I felt was for wrong tactics, by the way. But he opted to hold his feet in this fight, and if that's the case, then put some shots together. You know, try and fight fire with fire. Try and punch with Benavidez, not just one at a time, but try and exchange with him. And again, maybe then finish on that right hook. But there was none of that from David Morrell. None of it at all. And yeah, Benavidez was just having his way with Morrell, firing and spamming uppercuts, sometimes doubling and trebling the uppercut, working the body, hooks around the side, straight right down the middle. We know Benavidez's punch repertoire and what he does when he gets going. He tries to kind of be a buzzsaw, and that's what he was doing in rounds 5 to 11. But again, what was coming back from Morrell was disappointing for me. But again, there were moments when Morrell would come into life and throw a 2-3 punch combination or land a good single counter, but not enough to win him rounds, not enough for him to turn the tide. And he should have been read the riot act a lot earlier by Ronnie Shields. Like, Ronnie Shields only really started going crazy at the end of round 11. Way too late. Way too late. But let's talk about round 11, which was an interesting round and one of the most, memorable moments from the fight. Morrell actually came out with a little more impetus, started throwing a few more punches, and they were starting to get through. Benavidez at this point in time, his output was starting to drop, and he was starting to get a little lackadaisical in terms of defense, in terms of balance. Morrell losing the fight, tried to throw a few more punches, some get through, and towards the end of round 11, what shot does he catch Benavidez with? Sort of a check right hook, and it drops Benavidez. Now, Benavidez wasn't dropped because he was hurt, he was dropped because he had bad balance, but it goes to show again, where was this right hook? It was key for Morrell, in my opinion. Anyway, he drops Benavidez. Benavidez beats the count as you would expect. And at this point, we're right at the end of a round. There's like 5 or 6 seconds left. Benavidez then walks to Morrell, tries to get it back, fires a combination, quick punch combination. The bell then rings, and Morrell catches Benavidez with a shot after the bell. Hard shot as well. It looked like it actually kind of buzzed Benavidez. And yeah, they deduct a point from Morrell. I don't think it was deliberate, but it was some way after the bell, and it was a hard shot, so I guess that's fair. Round 12, I felt Morrell won round 12. I felt he won round 12. Came out looking for a knockout, I guess. Tried to put his shots together. Put punches together in combination. Pushed Benavidez back on several occasions. Having said that, I say I felt Morrell won round 12, but Morrell was kind of buzzed in round 12. He was caught by an uppercut coming in, so you can score round 12 to Benavidez as well. But Morrell tried in round 12, but I felt again he left it way too late. And what I'm frustrated with in regards to Morrell, I think he showed in moments that he had the tools to really trouble Benavidez. And while he did in a couple of rounds, he didn't do it anywhere near enough. I don't think Morrell put in a great performance, I have to be honest. I think he, for whatever reason, I just don't think he put in a good performance. And yeah, Morrell was just outworked by Benavidez. One thing I'll say about Benavidez, one thing I did like from Benavidez in this fight, particularly in the first half of this fight, was Benavidez's guard. I felt his guard was much more active, actually doing a relatively good job of defending himself. A good active guard, aside from when he got hurt in round 4. But yeah, he showed a good guard, Benavidez, at times in this fight. So defensively, I think we saw some improvements from Benavidez. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in Morrell's performance because the first 4 rounds we had a really interesting fight. But I don't think Morrell really capitalised on what he did well, and the openings that were there, kind of thing, And yeah, that just gave Benavidez the opportunity to outwork Morrell, and that's what he did. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens next. Will Benavidez fight the winner of Bivol Beterbiev? We will see. I have my doubts, I have to be honest. He's a PBC fighter, and we should view them with that lens because these guys don't take fights outside of their promotional company, if they're worth anything, if they can sell a few tickets, then, these guys go in hiding. But, I'd like to see Benavidez fight the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. I would. But, yeah, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy, what did you think of his fight? Peace.